We have two absolutely wild stories in the MMA world right now, and trust me, you do not want to skip this one. First, Alex Pereira, one of the most dangerous men on the planet, runs into UFC heavyweight rising star Valter Walker backstage, and things get interesting fast. There is a $1,000 bet, a size difference that had the whole internet talking, and a fight that ended in the most ridiculous way possible. And second, the Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev super fight saga just took a huge turn. Islam Makhachev's own team came out and basically told Topuria, not so fast. We are breaking down exactly what was said, what it means, and where this monster matchup actually stands right now. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. Fans online had been joking for months that Valter Walker, the heel hook machine, should fight Zion Clark. Why? Because Zion Clark is a famous wrestler and MMA fighter who was born without legs. If Walker's only weapon is heel hooks and his opponent literally has no legs to grab, what does Walker even do? Well, Karate Combat heard those jokes and said, let us actually make this fight happen. Just like that, Walker versus Clark was booked as the main event grappling match of Karate Combat 59, held on February 13, 2026 at Telemundo Center in Miami, Florida. Walker himself admitted to Bloody Elbow that he was really scared ahead of this fight. He described Clark as his kryptonite because Walker said he only knows how to do heel hooks and he genuinely had no idea how to submit someone without legs. The man was literally losing sleep over this matchup. But before the fight even happened, things went sideways at the face-off. During the pre-fight stare-down on Thursday, February 12th, Clark suddenly pounced on Walker. Within seconds, both men were on the ground. Clark briefly locked up a front headlock and fired short shots at Walker's body before security intervened to separate them. Even as officials held him back, Walker attempted to kick Clark, which fortunately did not land. Walker's arrest post-brawl led to genuine uncertainty about whether the fight would even take place. But it did happen, and what followed? Pure chaos. Here is where Alex Pereira enters the picture. In a backstage video posted by Full Violence, Alex Pereira offered Valter Walker a $1,000 bet for his Karate Combat grappling match. The terms were that Pereira would pay up if his fellow Brazilian was able to record a staggering 5th win via heel hook when he stepped inside the pit. Walker had told Bloody Elbow that he was really scared ahead of facing Zion Clark because he had no idea how to beat this specific opponent. The Brazilian even described Clark as his kryptonite because he's known for his heel hook submissions, while his American foe was born without legs. Pereira's logic was simple. Even Walker knows he cannot heel hook a legless man. The whole room laughed. It was one of the funniest moments in MMA Fight Week in a long time. But then, something absolutely unbelievable happened. Walker went out there and tried the heel hook anyway. That is right. In the actual fight, even after making everyone laugh about it, even after admitting it was impossible, Walker attempted his signature submission on Clark anyway. The reactions were best summarized by one post on X. This image is absurd. Multiple fans joked that Walker almost got it, with one adding, "That's how good he is at heel hooks." One commenter wrote, "That's wild, bro went for the invisible legs." Walker eventually switched gears and submitted Clark with a choke to win the fight, but that heel hook attempt is gonna live in MMA history forever. Now here is another angle from this backstage moment that people simply cannot stop talking about. When the video of Pereira approaching Walker got posted online, fans immediately noticed how big Valter Walker looks compared to Pereira. Pereira has been talking about moving up to UFC heavyweight, but next to Walker, he looked noticeably smaller. Comments started flooding in on social media. "Alex is too small for heavyweight," one user said. Another added, "Damn, I don't think Alex is going to be big enough for heavyweight." Then came reactions that focused solely on the comparison. "Valter is huge," one comment read. Some fans chuckled when Pereira stood up during the conversation, joking, "Bro had to get up after being cornered like a kid," with another adding, "Alex stood up to intimidate him, but it didn't work." Now look, Pereira is a physical freak. He's a former 2-division UFC champion, but the size of Walker in that video was something else entirely. If these two ever share an octagon, this size comparison is going to be all anyone talks about. And just when you thought this story could not get any crazier, Johnny Walker reacted to his brother's win on Instagram, writing, "I am ashamed. He's choking a defenseless guy 4 times lighter than him and without legs. Very disrespectful." Walker did not hold back in his post-fight interview, saying, "I'm really upset because I called my brother to come here with me and he didn't come. I want to crush him. I want to finish him off. I want to break his foot. I want to bring Johnny here and show him who the real Walker is. Everyone knows he has to ask his wife for permission." The Walker family is officially at war, and the younger Walker is absolutely not playing around. All right, now we pivot to the other massive story that has the entire MMA world buzzing, the Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev super fight saga. Let's quickly catch you up on where things stand. Islam Makhachev, for years the king of lightweight, moved up to welterweight in late 2025. At UFC 322, Makhachev became a 2-division champion and tied a long-standing UFC record by beating Jack Della Maddalena. Ilia Topuria, on the other hand, vacated the UFC featherweight title and moved up to lightweight, where he won the vacant UFC lightweight belt at UFC 317. Topuria currently holds the UFC lightweight title after vacating his 14-pound championship to compete at a higher weight division.
So right now, Topuria holds lightweight gold. Makhachev holds welterweight gold. 2 champions, 2 belts, and a fan base screaming for them to fight each other. Shortly after UFC 322's main event concluded, Topuria condemned Makhachev's performance as dull, where many, including UFC CEO Dana White, celebrated Makhachev's grappling dominance as a sign of his greatness. Topuria was more confident than ever. He said, "Islam, you need something you can't train, emotion." He wasn't any kinder to former champion Della Maddalena, writing, "Jack needs an entire camp dedicated just to wrestling. What a disappointment of a champion." Makhachev, when asked about his next opponent in the cage, said he was healthy and would make light work if Topuria were his next opponent. "I am ready," Makhachev said at the post-fight press conference. "Who is going to be next? Let's do this. I will make it easy." In a recent interview with Arena Fight TV, Makhachev explained why fighting on the White House card appeals to him. "I tell them, the UFC, I will be ready soon. Of course, I want to be at the White House because it will be the one and only time they will be fighting at the White House. Now I want to make history. I already make good money, which is enough for my family. Now I am just ready, training every day, still hungry, still fighting, still wanting to be champion," he said. When asked about Topuria specifically, Makhachev said he liked the idea of facing him at the White House and would be ready to go when the time came. He also mentioned he would begin training after Ramadan. On the surface, this sounds like a man who wants the Topuria fight. The fan base erupted. This super fight suddenly felt real. But not so fast. On February 14, 2026, just one day after Makhachev spoke positively about the fight, Makhachev's manager, Ali Abdelaziz, came on X and slammed the brakes hard. Abdelaziz posted, "Just to be clear, Justin Gaethje is fighting next for the undisputed lightweight title, and if Topuria doesn't want, then Justin will fight for the undisputed title against whoever is next. And if Islam wants to give Topuria his ass-whooping, then he will be the one who will choose where and when. But Islam's next fight will definitely be against a real welterweight." Translation: Makhachev versus Topuria is not happening at the White House on June 14th. Makhachev stays at welterweight. Topuria must first deal with Justin Gaethje, the interim lightweight champion, before any superfight conversation can continue. Here is the crucial context you need to understand. Abdelaziz has been pushing for a fight between Makhachev and Kamaru Usman since the Dagestani star won the welterweight belt. Interim lightweight champion Justin Gaethje is also under contract with Abdelaziz's Dominance MMA, giving him a clear interest in top matchups. In other words, Abdelaziz manages both Makhachev and Gaethje, so shutting down the Makhachev-Topuria super fight directly protects Gaethje's shot at the undisputed lightweight title. The MMA community has spotted this and they are not staying quiet about it. Topuria, who has not fought since winning the vacant lightweight belt at UFC 317, is expecting to return to the cage in the next few months. After fighting the Gaethje vs. Pimblett winner, Topuria could make the move to 170 pounds to fight Makhachev in a massive super fight. Topuria has also fired back at fans who suggested Makhachev would submit him. He dismissed the idea completely. This man genuinely believes he beats Makhachev everywhere, standing and on the ground. Former UFC champion Michael Bisping did not mince words. You can't put an event on at the White House and not have the fight card just blow everything else to smithereens. There is no bigger fight right now, in my humble opinion, than Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria. On the other side, Beneil Dariush delivered a calm warning. I just think there's a big size difference. The fight at 155 pounds would be much better for Ilia Topuria. At 155, Ilia had a very good shot. At 170, I don't think so. This is the heart of the debate. Topuria wants the fight. Makhachev personally seems open to it, but the weight class remains a genuine obstacle, and Makhachev's management has made it clear they're in no hurry. Alright guys, let's bring it all together. On the Valter Walker side, this man is a complete phenomenon right now. 4 consecutive heel hook finishes in the UFC heavyweight division. A bizarre and hilarious grappling match against a legless opponent that somehow spiraled into a full family feud. Alex Pereira is in the background, placing $1,000 side bets. A viral size comparison that has people questioning Pereira's heavyweight future. And now a brother versus brother call-out that is unlike anything we have seen before. Valter faces Marcin Tybura on March 28, 2026, and if he keeps doing what he's doing, a heavyweight title shot is coming sooner than most people think. On the Makhachev-Topuria front, the super fight is alive, but it is being held back by management politics and conflicting financial interests. Makhachev personally wants to make history. Topuria wants Makhachev over everyone. But Ali Abdelaziz controls the pace of this conversation, and right now he is protecting his other client, Justin Gaethje's shot first. The question the whole sport is asking, if Topuria handles Gaethje at the White House on June 14th, does that finally force the UFC to make the biggest fight in their history? 2 undefeated champions, 2 completely opposite styles, 2 division glory on the line. The answer needs to be yes. Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Who wins if Makhachev and Topuria fight, and at what weight? And would you want to eventually see Valter Walker versus Alex Pereira in the UFC? Let me know below. If you're new here, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a breakdown like this.